Hey everyone, it's Pat from Pad's Art Music, and today we're checking out how to finger tap. Now, 2020, it's been such a rough year, and sadly Eddie Van Halen has passed away. So from listening to a lot of his work with Van Halen, I thought, man, his tapping was so good and so interesting, so I thought, well, I'll create a lesson for that for you. There's no ads, there's no monetization on this video. It seems a bit weird and slimy to be making money from someone passing away, for me. So I thought, hey, let's just check out this cool technique together. I'm gonna show you two different methods of how I would use tapping. Sure, like tapping is fun. Little shreddy stuff, it's awesome, but it actually can be a really amazing theory, ear training, and chordal technique, meaning practicing your chords. So I'm going to show you both methods today. So how we're going to tackle this is, first I'm going to teach you how to tap, and I'm going to show you licks and riffs from Eruption, and then I'm going to show you what I think is a better way to do it. But hey, great to see you again. Let's check it out. Okay, so I'm going to show you the very quick nitty-gritty, or the how to tap, and I'm going to show you this little Van Halen inspired, and it's actually from the song Eruption. Show you how to do that. Heaps of fun, and then I'm going to show you what I think is even better than all of that, how to connect a chord with tapping, soloing, training your ears, theory, all of that stuff. Those are the things we're going to check out. So here we go. First of all, what you want to do is, let's say, have your first finger on the 2nd fret of that B string. You're going to hold that down. Okay? Then you're going to tap with your first finger. Let's just do the 12th fret. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring down that first finger so that it has enough pressure to make a sound. And it rings out. Once you can do that, try and hammer on and pull off a little bit, just bend it a little bit, so that the string then vibrates and rings back to where your first finger is. Once you can do that, experiment and try and move up your first finger over here while still tapping on that 12th fret. Once you can do that, try and use multiple fingers. Once you can do that, try and keep this finger still, but move your tapping finger up a few different frets. And here's what that sounds like. Once you can do that, try and do all of those methods. And of course, then try and do it on every string. Alright, once you can do all of that, you're ready for this next Van Halen lick. So how it goes from Eruption, have your first finger on that 2nd fret of the B string. You're going to have your pinky eventually hammering on the 5th fret, same string, and you're going to be tapping on the 9th fret. So it's going to be a 9th fret tap, then you're going to pull off and ring back to that 2nd finger, then hammer on with your pinky. So here's the steps. Then you're going to move your first finger up to the 10th fret on that same B string. So just practice those two things. Then you're going to do exactly the same thing, but you're going to move your first finger so it's on the 4th fret of the 2nd string, and your pinky is going to be hammering on the 7th fret. Same thing, still with the 10th fret. And then move your first finger to the 12th fret. So what we've got so far? And if you're interested in learning the rest of that, definitely let me know. But it's all about just moving those fingers up to different positions. But even just having a go and trying to figure them out will be really good training. All right, let's check out the second method for tapping. So what I would do for the second method of tapping is, all right, pick a chord, any chord. All right, I feel like I'm playing poker with you. I'm giving you a card. Pick any chord you want, any chord that you know well. G, D, C, A, whatever it is. Now, this is how I would be practicing tapping if you wanted to. It's cool to do it for a lead technique, but you might think, how often am I actually going to use that? It's like you throw it out once and you're like, cool, now what? Okay, so this is how I would practice tapping. I would pick a chord, let's say C major chord. What I would do now is I would use, as it's ringing out, you don't need a looping pedal, you don't need a computer to record yourself, you don't need to use your phone, just have that C chord ringing out. Then with this finger, tap a C note. So for example, on the 8th fret of the thick E string, that's a C note. So play the chord and tap the note. And it's really cool because you get to hear how that note rings out with the rest of the chord. Find another C note somewhere. Like for example, you could play it on the 5th fret of the G string. Now you can take that a little bit step further. Of course, you could do it with every chord, G. Then you could find different G notes if you wanted to. Or you could actually try, all right, well, here's a G chord. What does it sound like if I was to put an E as it's ringing out? Ooh, that's interesting. What about an F? So the idea is that with tapping, you're learning the notes on the fretboard, you're training your ear, and you're also getting to try out different notes over different chords. If I was approaching tapping, that's kind of how I would do it. I mean, it's fun. It's fun shredding and it's fun learning all of that cool stuff. But what might mean more for you and what might connect everything together is learning where those names of the notes are on the strings, because that's so important. So many guitarists forget about that. But hey, that's it for today. So thank you so much for staying to the end. So what did we learn today? We learned how to actually tap. We learned a little bit of a Van Halen from Eruption lick. We learned how to put it into practice for theory and chordal training, all of that good stuff. And you know what? I'm going to finish off with a little bit of a melody I wrote tapping when I was like 14 years old. So hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I'm going to finish with that. See you again for another one.